Hello peeps again. Deadbug Davies still out and about, and now I'm on a different bike, same place as I was a minute ago, but now I'm on the new Aprilia rsv4 factory with wings. Yeah, that comes with carbon fibre wings. I haven't ridden it far, but God, this thing it's tiny. It's so small. Not made for someone of a reasonably big stature. Apart from that though, it's a really nice bike. It's actually a very nice sports bike. It doesn't feel too cramped. It is cramped as in the bike's very small, but it didn't feel like too much of a bad riding position. Brakes are really good, front and back. It's not as loud as I was hoping, even though it's got the Aprilia on it. But yeah, let's have a look around. Once again, thanks to the lads and lasses over On Your Bike for letting me borrow this one. I'm not sold on the wings. I'm one of those people I don't don't know. Don't think you need them for the road, but whatever. If they're there for the aesthetics, then yeah, I can deal with that. They look nice, you know, and they are actually carbon fibre, and they're actually, you know, the matte satin carbon fibre, not matte. Yeah, it's really nice. It handles so smoothly. It's just like it was before, where the chassis is so nice. The suspension as well is nice, but it's stiff, obviously. It's a sports bike, isn't it? But it turns on a dime. It's so flickable. Riding it feels like a little 125, but honestly, the power of it at the moment, I think I've got it on sport, which I think is like the lowest, because when you have like race and track, I don't know if you have a rain, but yeah, but it's so quick, and the up and down shift it's so nice, so nice. And this, to me, is the complete opposite of the H2SX that I was just riding. The rear end, to me, that is probably the sexiest rear end out there. That is a gorgeous, gorgeous looking rear end. In fact, to me, out of every 1000cc sports bike, this is the one I would have. I'm not a BMW fan, not a Ducati fan. It's just personal preference. And I think this bike just looks stunning. I really do. Yeah, it does have Brembos. I don't know what they are. Might be M50s. I think they are. Yep, they're M50s. That's why they're really good. Öhlins front and rear. Brembo rear caliper as well. So yeah, I think this is an absolutely gorgeous bike. It's just too small for me. I can't ride bikes like this anymore. I'm getting on in age, and it's just stupid. I'm no use for me at all anymore. Yeah. Let's have a sit on it. As I said, like, I'm kind of tiptoe. Yeah. This has all sorts. You know, it does have the cruise control. Has a pit lane limiter. Don't know how to work it, but it's got a pit lane limiter. Anyway, let's start it up. It lights up like something out of Star Wars. And then let's right, so I don't know what all of these traction controls, I don't know how to change them, so I'm not going to bother. But you hit the starter button again and it changes the throttle. So at the moment it's sport. Press it a couple of times and it will go to race. And it definitely feels, yeah. But that's it. There is sport, race, track. There is no, yeah, there's nothing else. There's nothing in between. Traction control you can change with these up and down things there. Turn it all the way up, all the way down. I think I had it halfway. Do like 4. But yeah. It's a very, very small cockpit, and also got an Öhlins steering damper there. See what I mean? I don't know if the baffle's in there, but it's not as loud as I was hoping. Oh, the sheep are gone. I don't know if they scared them off, but yeah, sounds lovely, this bike. Probably the best sounding bike, I reckon. And while I'm here, keeping with the tradition, we're going to look what is under the pillion seat. What's your betting? Do you reckon you'll fit anything under there? No. Not a chance. But, to be honest, you don't buy a sports bike like this expecting to put something under the rear seat, do you? So, anyway, that's my little walk around of the bike for now. I still think it's so gorgeous. Gorgeous, gorgeous bike. I absolutely love the look of this bike. This is the first time I've ridden one of these. I had a Tuono V4. Absolutely love that bike. But this is the first time I've ridden an rsv4. And yeah, it's just surprising how similar. And it's not the same on the Tuono, but you could see like the characteristics are very, very similar. I know the Tuono's not as powerful as this, because I think this has like 217 brake now, apparently, out of the showroom. So probably on the dyno you're probably looking 200 at the rear. But yeah, anyway, I'm going to get back out on this, because no doubt someone will want to ride it again soon. So I'm going to sign out and I'll catch you in a minute. Right, I'm back on the road now. First impressions of the bike. I could see why I gave up riding sports bikes now, because they are so small, so cramped. Got carpal tunnel in my wrists, so I find it very hard to ride these. But this one, oh man, the power on these is straight out the factory as well. It's crazy. Some serious power. I haven't got a clue how to work the pit lane limiter. I haven't got a clue how to activate traction control, so I'm not even going to discuss it. I didn't even have time to talk to the guy about it, so yeah, I'm not even going to bother. It's got it, so yeah. See what I mean? Absolute fucking animal. And that's on like its lowest throttle mode. Fucking hell. It's nuts. Fucking nuts. See, what are my feelings about the bike? Apart from slight pain in my wrist, you know, these are over 21 grand, I think, for the factory. But of course you are getting the cream of the crop here. You know, multiple World Superbike wins, says there, 54. To me, this engine is a peach. It is probably easily one of my top 3 that I've ever ridden on. These bikes handle so well. If you don't want a sports bike, you can get a Tuono and it still handles amazingly. So everything about the bike wise, you buy a bike like this obviously because it's fast, handles well, all of that stuff, and it does everything that you want it to. The brakes are good. I don't know what the back's like. Yeah, that's actually pretty good. I'm not going to slow right down because there's a car a little bit further behind me, but yeah, back seems good. Seems better than on the H2SX, but I think this has been ridden more, so can't really judge that. Front brakes are, yeah, throw you over the front of the bike. They're M50, so that's what happens. When you buy a bike like this, you obviously buy it knowing that it's a fast bike. You know it's going to be uncomfortable, you know it's going to be bad on fuel. But you also at the same time know that it has the potential to make you feel so alive. Bikes like this, they ignite something in you, you know. It's not all about going fast either, you know. Like the bike's rideable quite easy at 50 mile an hour in 5th, probably in 6th as well. Yeah, and this has an up and down blipper as well, up and down shifter. It must come as stock. You'd hope so at 21 grand plus. Suspension wise, it's obviously very hard. It's a sports bike, what do you expect? But first impressions, it's still kind of like what I was thinking when I was thinking if I was going to get a sports bike, I would lean towards this. And there's other reasons why I wouldn't have the other ones. As I said, I'm not really into BMs, not really into Ducatis. I would veer towards Kawasaki, but the problem is with Kawasaki is their sports bike, like the ZX-10R, still has the very, very old dash. And if it's got the old dash, then, you know, they need to update it. They need a TFT. They need something like that. Or do the one that's on the SX. You know, it's so old now. It's not good. It's not right. It needs something more than that. Such an amazing bike. It's so easy to ride as well. It needs more. You know, they're not going to sell stuff unless they update, because everything else is going TFT dash, active suspension. And even like the new ZX-10, I think that was an SE, with the fully active suspension, even that has the old dash. You know, and that's 18.5, 19 grand. It's like, yeah, they're shooting themselves in the foot. They need to think about the dash. Anyway, back to this. Mirrors, for me, yeah, I didn't really set them up very well, I don't think, but they're not exactly great. If you were hunched over, then I think they'd be fine. But, yeah. Oh, God, this bike accelerates so quick. This is an absolute scalpel. It really is a scalpel. And this engine just pulls. It has power everywhere. Even from like the get-go at like 3,000 or 4,000 RPM, it still wants to go. It just wants to get out and boogie. It's an absolute beast. It's still not for me though. It's not like I dislike the bike, but this is just personal preference because it's a sports bike, and you know, I can live with the H2 because I ride it very rarely. But you know, obviously that's a special bike. These aren't as special. So sports bikes for me, I'm just not really into them anymore. But I really wanted to ride this bike. Come on, mate. Fucking hell. And I am pleasantly surprised. I knew it was going to be an animal engine wise, and obviously I knew the suspension would be hard, I knew the brakes would be good. Yeah, so I knew what was coming, but also at the same time I'm surprised. See what I mean? That is a fast bike. God, and it just wants to go. It's insanely fast. So quick. Such a good bike. And the engine, oh man, like seriously, I can't say enough about this engine. When I had the Tuono, I loved it then. It's so nice. See, and you can do all that back there, but yet you can still chuddle around at 40 mile an hour in fifth. I don't know if it's going to do 30 mile an hour in fifth. Should we try? Right, there we go. 32, 30. It'll do it. It doesn't really like it though. It's a bit chuggery, but it's a sports bike. What do you expect? Yeah, it's hard to know what to say about these because I don't do I don't research the bike. I don't sit there and think, oh, the seat height is this many millimeters, the brake disc is this size. I don't care. What I care about is when you get on the bike, what does it feel like? What does the engine feel like? What's the brakes like? What, you know, all of that sort of stuff. That's what I care about. Little rude boys. Yeah, I want to join them. Hopefully that's, yeah. Well, I wouldn't ride a Harley. It's not for me. Yeah, this sort of a bike is one of those bikes. Weirdly, it stirs my soul. It really does stir my soul. The sound of it, the power, even on the Tuono. It's one of those things that gives you a little tingle on your gooch, you know? Yeah. Well, you know what I mean, don't you? when you roll on and it's just like hits that bit and then warp speed, mate. It's a fucking quick bike. There's no other words about it. And I'm hardly even like using the rev range. I was up like 7,000 or 8,000. You know, it goes up a fucking lot more than that. Fucking nuts, man. Absolute nut bike. Absolutely love it. Fuck me. Bit of side wind there. God almighty, that's a quick bike, man. Just fucking goes, man. It's nuts. The problem is, I've got two issues now. One of them is the fact that I'm wearing big old adventure boots, so it's kind of hard to feel where the lever is. And two, I'm also wearing a adventure crash helmet. So when I get some speed on, I'm having to fight it. So the wind's catching the peak and it's pulling me off. So yeah. Right, he's flashed me, so let's see what he flashed me for. I'm going to slow down now, just in case. He may have given me a warning there. I don't know if that's spoiled my ride or what, I don't know. Unless it was just because I was under heavy acceleration a bit and then lights came up, I don't know. But when people do that, play it safe. It's nice for people to do it. There's no one behind me, is there? Nah. Just hoping there ain't no police fucking following me because I can't see shit out the mirrors. Anyway, first impressions of the bike. If you wanted a sports bike, you ain't gonna go wrong with this thing. You seriously ain't gonna go wrong. It is an absolute animal. It's crazy quick. And the sound, I think this has just got a slip-on but the sound, when it reaches a certain RPM, oh man, it's jizz-tacular. Jizz-tacular. But it's just too small for me. It's not for me. I could see why people, when they want a sports bike, I understand that. I get that. But now, you know, I've been there, I've done that. I've had all R1s and GSXRs and all of them things. I've been there, I've done it. Yeah, I don't really need to do it again. So, right, and also sorry that I don't know how to use the cruise control. Don't know how to use the pit lane limiter. It might not even be set up, but I don't know how to use it. The place was very busy. I just got handed over the bike and that was it. So not much I could have done on that one, I'm afraid. Anyway, just going to sign off for a sec and then I'll be back in a minute. Alright, I'm back again. I was just thinking, the one thing I haven't done is spoken about some of the electronics on this bike. I believe it's still got the Bosch IMU, so it's still got top-notch, you know, probably lean angle sensitive ABS and all that sort of stuff. It's also got weird things like a lean angle sensor. There's like a dial on the dash which tells you your lean angle. There's like a front brake lever sensor, which is a bit of a fad if you ask me. It's not really anything that's interesting to people normally. But the electronics package on these is probably second to none. The electronics on this were kind of what made every other sort of Japanese company start thinking about their electrics, because this was so far ahead a few years ago. Nothing was actually the same as this. Nothing had the Bosch
the Bosch electronics, and this did, and so did the Toronto, and it's so easy to set up and it works so well. You know, they were kind of in a class of their own, and when things are in a class of their own as much as this, at that time there was nothing that could touch them. Oh, yeah, it's a bit hard, the suspension. Such a nice bike though. Rear brake, yeah, she works well. It's kind of hard to know what to say now. First impressions of the bike, oh, that it's bloody good, to be honest. I already knew that it was going to be good. So actually, yeah, switch gear feels a bit funny. Oh. I already know it was going to be really good, but I didn't know how good it was going to be. But yeah, I'm not surprised, but I am. I knew the engine was going to be epic. I knew it was going to be a fast bike. It's kind of what you expect for a sports bike, but it's not actually that bad. I was expecting it to be really uncomfortable, and actually I'm not too bad. I feel all right. See, once it gets to about 5,000 or 6,000 RPM, like the exhaust note changes. That punch, man, that punch out of the corners, man, that's nuts. You could just feel it. Just wanting to go, man. It's fast. Such a wicked bike. Oh man. Lovely bike. Problem is though, it's not a cheap one. It ain't cheap, and like 20 odd grand. Ain't a cheap bike. Mind you, everything's quite expensive now. So yeah. She can boogie, mate. She can fucking boogie big time. I think that's the one downside. Apart from like little things like comfort, which I can't really judge on others. One downside is this bike is addictive. That engine is addictive. It's fast and addictive. Which could yeah, could get you in a lot of trouble quite fucking quick. Right, I'm going to sign off a bit and I'll do a little last minute one when I get closer in a minute. Alright, so now final thoughts. Well, is it for me? No. Is it for someone who wants this sort of bike? Oh yes. If you want a sports bike and you have the money, this thing is ballistic. The engine is an absolute peach. I spent time with the engine, as I said, when I had a V4 Toronto, so I know what the engine's like, but first time I had in an rsv4, and my god, it is fast. It builds speed so quickly. They're nuts. They really are crazy. It's such a light little bike. Obviously I'm struggling a bit because as I said, I've got adventure boots on and I've got a peaked crash helmet on, so it makes it a bit hard. But you know, you got to live with these things. But yeah, as a bike, it is absolutely wicked. It's a peach. The engine is an absolute animal. Sounds amazing. Feels amazing. Like the clutch is nice and light, even though it's like cable. Not exactly comfortable, but on the actual scale of sports bike, what sports bike is actually comfortable? Yeah, I absolutely love it. As I said, I apologise for not being able to work the pit lane limit or the cruise control, but obviously if you're interested in these, you have to speak to the people that deal with them. So I'm on my way back there now. So once again, thanks to the lads and lasses over at On Your Bike in Wadston for the loan of this bike. As I said on other videos, if you want to have a ride on them, number one, clear licence, go over there. I think you might need your national insurance number, but have a clean licence, go over there, speak to the lads, they'll sort you out a test ride. You can have a go on one of these. And believe me, if this is the sort of thing you're looking for, if you're after a bike like this, you ain't going to be disappointed. It's nuts. It is a nuts bike. I'd much rather have like my H2 just because it's a bigger bike, just so there's more to actually hide my frame. But this, an absolute track weapon. Really, really is. It's an absolute animal. Just had to have one last little opener up. Yeah, it's addictive. It is a crazy bike. Very addictive. Very harsh suspension, very aggressive engine, pretty bloody uncomfortable. Mirrors are quite useless. Bike is tiny, but that's what you expect from a sports bike. And when you put everything, all of that tiny little stuff together, which everything has, and you put this V4 engine in it, oh, you end up with something quite special. And I know this V4 has been used for a while, so in their other bikes, so yeah, it's pretty trustworthy. Getting busy over here with the cars. That's it, mate. Stay where you are. Oh shit, forgot to turn my camera off. Anyway. Come on, get into neutral, will ya? There we go. Right, that'll do. Deadbug Davey is out to the next one.